Welcome. Today, we're doing a real deep dive. Think of it as a 400-level course on the Agent Development Kit, or ADK. We're going to walk through the entire developer journey, from that first spark of an idea all the way to a live application running in the cloud. Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to follow the exact path a developer would. We'll kick things off with the core concepts, then we'll get into how to actually build agents and give them real-world powers. Cover the practical side of running and debugging, and finally, we'll launch them into production. So what is the ADK really? At its heart, it's a whole ecosystem. Now, the key phrase here is client-side SDK. What that means for you, the developer, is that the core logic lives right inside your own application. You have total control. It's not just a simple library, it's a full suite of components designed to help you build, manage, and deploy some seriously powerful multi-agent AI applications. And this whole journey isn't some chaotic, make-it-up-as-you-go process. No, it's a really structured path, and the ADK provides dedicated tools for every single step of this lifecycle, from defining your goal, to building and testing, and all the way through to deployment and making improvements later on. So let's start at the very beginning, with the core building blocks. It all starts with the agent. You can think of these as the fundamental worker units in any application you build with the ADK. Now check this out. I love this visual because it's basically the agent family tree. Everything, and I mean everything, stems from this single base agent class. It's the common blueprint, the ancestor, which then branches out into three main categories of agents, each with its own special job. And this table just perfectly nails the key differences. Your LLM agents, they're your creative thinkers, your brainstormers, using a language model for reasoning. Then you have workflow agents. Think of them as the super organized, predictable project managers, controlling the flow of work. And finally, custom agents are your specialists, the ninjas you build for highly tailored logic that nothing else can handle. So an agent can think, which is cool. But how does it actually do stuff, in the real world? Well, that's where a whole ecosystem of tools and protocols comes in. This is how we give them their real-world capabilities. The answer is you give them superpowers. Seriously. The ADK lets you equip your agents with a whole arsenal of tools that connect them to external APIs, services, and data. For example, you can give an agent the ability to execute code, and bam, it can solve complex math problems on the fly. Or you could connect it directly to Google Cloud Tools, letting it query massive datasets in BigQuery. And here's the thing, it's not a walled garden. It's not just Google Tools. The ADK is designed to be totally extensible. You can easily plug into the third-party services you and your team already use every day, like managing issues in GitHub or searching your team's knowledge base in Notion. But it gets even cooler. Agents don't just have to use external tools. They can actually use other agents as tools. This is all possible because of the agent-to-agent protocol, or A2A for short. It's how you build these really complex systems where specialized agents can collaborate and delegate tasks to each other. And the most powerful part is just how simple this is. The ADK gives you this one little function, A2A. You just wrap your existing agent in it, serve it up, and boom, it can now talk to other agents. It's incredibly straightforward. Okay, we've designed this powerful, tool-equipped agent. Now it's time to head into the developer's workshop. We're talking about the practical side of things, making it run, understanding what it's doing under the hood, and making sure it's robust when things go wrong. For pretty much any real-world workflow, the app class is where you'll start. Think of it as the main container for your entire application. It's so important because it handles all the operational stuff, configuration, state management, all that plumbing. This lets your individual agents focus purely on the business logic they were designed for. Now, when things inevitably go wrong, logging is your absolute best friend. The ADK uses Python's standard logging, which gives you really fine-grained control. You can crank it up to debug for a super deep inspection, or dial it back to info or error for your production environments. And here's a perfect example. A debug log like this is invaluable for troubleshooting because you can see the exact prompts that was sent to the language model, system instructions and all. You can see precisely what the agent is thinking, which is amazing for figuring out why it did what it did. But what about things that are out of your control? Like a network failure or a server reboot right in the middle of a long, multi-step process. Does the agent have to start all over again from scratch? Well, this is where resumability is an absolute game changer. By just enabling a resumability config in your app, the workflow will automatically save its state at each step. So instead of starting over after an interruption and rerunning potentially expensive API calls, it just picks up right where it left off. This saves a ton of time, computation, and money. And now for the final and probably most exciting step, deploying to the cloud. This is where we take our agent from our local computer and launch it into the world. The ADK command line interface makes this process incredibly efficient. Deploying to the Vertex AI agent engine is really just a simple 3-stage process. Set up your cloud project, prepare your code folder, and then run a single ADK deploy command. That's it. And that command really just needs one key piece of information from you, your Google Cloud Project ID. You can easily find and copy that right from the main dashboard in the Google Cloud Console. Once your agent is live on Vertex AI, it gets its own unique endpoint. That means you can integrate it into other applications programmatically using the Vertex AI SDK, or just by making standard REST API calls with a tool like curl, just like any other cloud microservice. And that brings us full circle. We've just walked through the complete developer journey. Think about it. We started with a simple agent object in a local code file and ended up with a robust, globally accessible, production-ready AI application running in the cloud. The ADK really does provide this powerful and comprehensive toolkit for building these sophisticated systems. It handles the architecture so you can focus on the logic. So the only real question left is, what complex problem are you going to solve with it?